So I feel like anything legally binding, anything you're going to get off into, anything that has a heavy weight attached to it, something that can affect you in multiple ways, legally, mentally, physically, long term. You should know what you're getting into when you're getting into that. So why is it marriage is so easy to get into? All you got to do is go sign some paperwork and say I do it. But when it comes down to things like getting a driver's license, you got to pay, you have to take tests, you have to study, you have to pass some kind of requirements. There's some things that you got to go through even to get a gun license. You have to go through training, and there are things in place and rules set up for these things to protect you, to protect other people, to make sure you know what you're doing, you know how to work what you got. But when it comes down to marriage, you can make a life-changing decision easy. It costs you nothing but about $75 and an agreement. I think anything that you're going to go off into, you should take the time out and do some research. You should know what it is, what's required, what does it mean, what does it consist of, what is it going to take of you, what is it going to take out of you, what it may cost you, the good and the bad. Why don't people do that for marriage? Why do they look at it as something so common and something so simple? And it's really not. It's more than just a commitment. It's more than just an I do. It's more than just an I love you. It's covenant. It's something God orchestrated. It's something that God compares his church to. Something that God loves so much that he used it as an example of how we are to love each other and treat each other, and how we are supposed to carry on in family dynamics. So to know it and understand it, you kind of got to go to the source. And a lot of times it doesn't work out because people aren't doing their due diligence. They're not looking into it. They're not understanding what it means. They're not understanding what God is requiring of it and why. Why covenant? Why the vows? What does it stand for? What is God expecting of it? Why did God orchestrate a man and a woman to marry and commit and grow together and triumph together and cover each other and help each other up when one is down and strengthen each other? Why? But people are doing it and not knowing this or understanding it, or not even considering that there's a weight to it. There's a spiritual weight to it. And you jumping into doing spiritual things and making spiritual vows to a God you don't even serve or look up to or acknowledge. And then when it goes wrong, you blame marriage. You blame the covenant. You blame the entity when you shouldn't have been doing it. No way. You did more research on how to get your driver's license. You did more research on how to get a gun license. Some of y'all have done more research on different strains of weed. You ever just listen to smokers talk? They know what go in it. It's different strains, where it come from. I just be like, what? Y'all put so much effort into so much silly stuff. But when it comes to marriage, you just up and do it. And the states don't require you to take tests and to learn and to understand it. They just give you this license. Oh, you about to screw yourself up. Y'all be knowing these different types of liquor and what shelf it go on. Learning like you learn your liquor. Shoot, I be hitting all kind of crazy stuff. I don't be knowing these new artists and these new, y'all be knowing it takes the same amount of effort to learn these songs and to learn these different things as it takes to learn this stuff. Same amount of effort. You're just shifting that energy to something different. The same amount of effort it takes to whine and complain, it takes to pray. The same amount of effort it takes to go off on somebody, it takes to cover your husband, your spouse before he comes, your family, your resources, your life, your health. Like, seriously, it's just what you choose to do with it. Whatever you have is how you choose to utilize it that makes a difference in your results in your life and how things play out for you. You can go off on this person, or you can take the same energy and those same words and the same air that's coming out of your lungs to pray for them, to speak something positive, to go to God about it. I just choose to use my words a little differently. I just choose to make everything count as much as possible, because I'm going to benefit from it. It's going to produce something good. Versus idle words, nothing's going to come out of that for me. I benefit nothing. I'm irritated. Now I'm walking around looking like it. I look mean because I am. I look grouchy because I've been grouchy, because I just went off and I let somebody disturb my peace. So I'm not even going to look peaceful, because you're not. And it does matter, and it will mess up some stuff. Understand that marriage is something that is supposed to not just be worked on a physical level, but on a spiritual level. And it's the spiritual level that drives the physical. And if you don't know how to love right, you don't know how to go to God, how to forgive, how to communicate, how to submit, how to let go of things, how to be forgiven, how to listen, how to compromise, how to get over yourself, how to choose y'all over you, over family, over kids sometimes. You ain't ready. You don't know what covenant is. You don't know what it is to be locked in for real. And you ain't just locked in physically, you're locked in spiritually. Because even if the laws that don't require you to do nothing but say I do allow you to get divorced, in God's eyes, a covenant is a covenant. There's no breaking covenant in God's eyes. You can break the law. You can break your marriage legally, but not in the eyes of God. Nah, he said, nah, you said forever, I'm still holding you to that. Some people ain't gonna want to hear me say that, but that's what, unless there's unfaithfulness, and there are rules to get out of covenant, and the person that committed the crime, you in trouble for being a reason why that covenant is broken. Nevertheless, it's easy to get into it, but it's hard to get out. You gonna go through some stuff to get out of it. It's gonna shipwreck credit. You gotta divide resources and homes and vehicles and children. It's then the law step in. Then they step in. They didn't care about you getting into it. They didn't require you to take no courses, no counseling, no classes to study. But you got $75 to $100. All right, you good. You want out? Oh, now the law jumps in. Okay, now we're going to take you through this terrible process. So, do your research. Choose wisely. Pay attention to everything. Everything matters. Because the worst thing you can do is be unequally yoked with somebody. And it's taken me growing up as a young girl, having friends that were 10 and 15 years older than me, and watching their journey and knowing their stories and seeing how it played out and seeing what went wrong. I've seen so much as a teenager in women's class where everyone was married with children, and I was just really too young to really be in there, but I wasn't, because I see why God had me experience it and why it taught me what it taught me. But I also see what went wrong and on who and what end and how it could have played out differently and what mistakes were made in multiple situations. it made me say, I don't want that for me. It made me say, I'm not going to choose the first person that asked me to marry them just because they asked me. I want to make sure I can submit to you, and I'm going to listen, and I'm going to be the person that's willing to take your leadership. If I didn't think you can lead me, I'm not going to grant you the right to be my leader. Because it's going to go wrong, because you're not smart enough, you're not wise enough. I don't think you're a leader. I don't think you're going to take me to where I need to go and I'll be safe. So there were times I had to say no. It wasn't that I wasn't asked. It was that I didn't think that person or those individuals were ready. And I wasn't wrong. I didn't do it because I was wise to not do it. I was wise enough to know that this wasn't it. This isn't what's gonna make me happy, because I'm not happy now. I'm not getting what I need and deserve now. Why would I attach myself to that? So I didn't. And I understand it is every woman's wish and desire, for the most part, not every, to be married, to have that person. But just because someone asks you, if that ain't it, if that ain't the person, don't you sit there and accept it and say yes because they came. It don't go well. I've seen this happen to a lot of women, and they all suffered. And a lot of people choose because they don't want to work on themselves. So they will marry somebody that doesn't require them to do better or be better, because it's easy, it's effortless. People want people who can accommodate where they are now, instead of working on themselves and becoming better. So they gonna take it because you willing to accept this. Okay, I'll take it. So they marry wrong, because they just married somebody who didn't require nothing of them, because they don't care. But the right person is going to come along and bring change and correction. They're going to show you where you're weak at and strengthen that. They're going to come in and say, okay, you should work on this. This needs to be changed. And I'm also going to assist you in it. They're going to point it out to you. And if they don't, they ain't for you, because then you're in a situation where you can't grow. They can't help you grow. They can't help strengthen what's weak. What do I need you for? I just want people more mindful. I think marriage is beautiful. It is amazing. But people really need to get that relationship with God straight first, because that's your first marriage. That's your first covenant. You can't respect him. You can't honor him. You can't listen to him. You can't be obedient to him. You can't do what he's telling you to do. You ain't ready. No, it starts with him. God is your first husband. He's the bridegroom. He's the first one. So practice there. When God tell you to get up and pray, get up and pray. When God tell you to fast, fast. When God tell you to change your diet, change your diet. When God tell you to stop going places, stop listening to certain things, stop talking to certain people, be obedient. Listen, pay attention, and do it. It's good practice. I guarantee you. It's going to take you somewhere. It's going to promote you. You're going to excel. You're going to be blessed by listening, because God is leading you and guiding you and directing your path. That is what he's doing. But it's also the job and the duty of a husband. That's why you got to choose wisely. That's why you want to be equally yoked. That's why you have to choose somebody that's going in the same direction you're going, that have the same beliefs as you have, and that has a heart for you, for real. It's not making you do stuff for selfish gain. That has every intention on being a real leader and blessing you and helping you and taking you somewhere good, somewhere positive, somewhere safe, somewhere where you'll be protected and seen after. And then your job is to protect and to cover and to nourish that man physically, emotionally, spiritually. You gotta love on him. And spiritually battle and fight everything that may come his way. Honestly, don't think you're ready if you're not already praying against attacks and all kinds of things for whoever your God ordained spouse is, or whoever it's gonna be. You don't even have to know them. Start praying for them. Start the process. That way, when you get in it, you already in it. It's not gonna be unfamiliar ground. You're not gonna struggle because you done jump started. You already living that way. You're already moving that way. You're already following God and being obedient and listening to wise counsel and changing and adjusting and putting things down that you want and you want to do for the betterment of union. You're already being selfless and considerate. That starts early. And know that your identity is tied to whatever you give your heart to. Whatever you spend your time learning and researching and loving on and pouring into, that's who you are. So how are you really a wife if you ain't nurturing and loving? And you want to be a godly wife. And you want somebody to trust you with their spiritual care. If they was to need prayer, you ain't even learned yet. Your heart ain't there. You skipping some steps, sweetheart. Like, whatever you sit down and you research and you study, whatever you spend your time with, whatever you're into, whatever gets your attention and holds it and keep it and keep you there, that's where your heart is. Because that's why you're over there. Because that's why it has your attention. That's why you're giving hours to learning other things. You have, like, I've spent hours in learning wigs and hair extensions and how to make it because I love doing it. I know this stuff like the back of my hand. I took a little break. I'll be back on this soon. I ain't forget. I still research it because I had to work on me. I got so busy with that I was depleting myself spiritually. I'm like, okay, I gotta slow down because I'm taking care of other people, but I wasn't taking care of me. So I had to put something I love down for something more important, the weightier matter. So understand that there are things that are more important than other things when you're seeking growth and relationship and marriage. And sometimes you got to put down something good for something better. Because that's where your heart really should be. You got to shift some things. You got to make some adjustments and some changes. But that's the heart of a wife. That's the heart of a servant. I love doing it. I'm still going to do it. But it was in the way of me working on me. Because I couldn't work these long hours at work. Take care of my family. Take care of all these customers. Get enough rest. Get in the gym. Change how I'm eating. That was not enough hours in a day. I was depleted. And then I got to squeeze God in. And God should be number one. So I had to drop something I really like to make sure God is number one. I had to put God first. I had to do some praying. I had to seek his face. And I see the evidence of it. I see my own growth. I see my own difference. And it's been intentional. But it's because I'm working towards something. It's something I'm expecting. So I had to be a wife to God. I had to cater to him and his ways and change what he told me to change and let go what he told me to let go and leave what he told me to leave. But all of that is practice for what's to come. That's just to get me on track. That's just to build the character up in me to be what and who he called me to be. And it was necessary to do. So if you ain't willing to sacrifice you and some stuff and love what you need to love and place your heart where it needs to go, because that's where it should be. And you do it until you really love it, until you're like perfecting it. You ain't ready to consider just somebody else yet, because you too selfishly considering you and what you feel like, and you want the reward of someone that did the work, but you ain't willing to do the work. That ain't how that works. And if you're not that, you need to change you so that you can have it. That's it.